Which was the worst interview you can remember on the show? Theo Epstein, rudest human being I've ever come across. Treated his PR person like garbage in front of us. Every time we have an interview that we don't like, we whine to Eagan crank radio.
Here's a tough one. What would you change about each other?
Margery talks too much on the show. I think everybody knows that.
I always tell the same thing to people. If I had $1 for every time someone told me Jim should talk less, I could have retired a long time ago, and my accountant would be wrong about his prospects for my finances. But really, Jim does most of the work. When Jim is not there, I'm really sorry because I really have to pick up my game.
Oh, this is total bullshit. Is it possible for Jim to ask a question without also simultaneously providing an answer for it? That's from Nancy. The answer is no, it is not possible.
It is not possible. It is not possible.
That's the dumbest question I've ever heard in my life.
This is what I have to do when I want to talk. I have to raise my arms like an air traffic controller over Logan and say, Jim, Jim.
What is the best thing about working with each other? You want to answer this seriously?
Jim has got a very great sense of humor. I have a similar sense of humor, so I think we spend a lot of time laughing, which is fun. And you know, we've been working together for 20 years, and we haven't hated each other yet.
Margery's great skill, and you may not think this is a big deal. It's a huge deal. It is really hard to be exactly who you are in real life on the radio. Is that not true?
Well,
and you've been that since day one. And when you are like that, when there's no guile, when you're transparent, when you're real, which is your best quality, people buy in and they feel part of the whole deal.
Okay, this is from Mike, who wants to know, where did you two meet? How did you decide to work together? I was a reporter at the Boston Herald, and I went to interview him about this ballot question that he was trying to pass. And I interviewed him in Downtown Crossing. And then I later saw you at an event when I actually said, oh, come on, we'll go out and dance. Jim,
it was a Globe thing.
Jim forgets the whole thing.
She did not meet me. She called me on the phone. She led me to believe it was going to be a positive piece, and then she ripped me to smithereens, saying I wore whale pants, which I did not wear. Who are your dream hypothetical dinner guests, and how much time will you drill them about the tea?
I mean, I suppose I could say if I was going to drill somebody about the tea, it might be Steve Poftek, who is heading the tea until January. He's the person that doesn't want you to know how bad things are, and the governor's office really doesn't want you to know how bad things are. Who would you have for your dinner companion?
I would probably have myself. Oh, this is a good one. What's next is the tweeter. Where do you get the energy to do all your shows?
Well, you know what we do that really makes a difference? We mostly stand up, and I think you get much more tired sitting down than you do standing up. So we stand up, and I think that helps a lot.
We listen to ourselves sitting down, which we had done up until that point, and standing. You can actually, you can actually hear the difference.
As a journalism major at a community college, what advice do you have for me going into this field? What I would do is keep writing for the places you're writing for, and then send your clips into the newspaper you want to work for.
Show up. This is not like, news is a collaborative thing. Doing it from your bed on Zoom is not really the best way to break into the industry. So once you find your first job and you're happy and you have people around with a little more experience, like Margery, for example, use them. How do you keep going on and on, day after day, year after year, talking about our depressing, it's actually a good question, anxiety-provoking political environment? It is incredibly cathartic and depression relieving to be able to talk on the air and know that there are thousands and thousands of people who have brains and concerns and empathy, who are not only listening, but then join us in conversation. Right. My question this is a good one. Are you ever going to have me back on? The people, my mom mostly, want to know. This is to Mo Cowan's mom. We love your son.
Yeah.
Even before he was a senator, we were fairly fond of him, and we will absolutely have him back on.
He did a great job as a senator. He's there briefly, but he did a great job while he was there. What has been your favorite recent story or segment? I don't know. Can you think of something? Do you frequently get recognized in public, or if so, where? Jim is constantly recognized in public. He's constantly being accosted. People are so excited to see you, Jim.
I am huge at Market Basket. I get there at 7:15 every Saturday. By the deli counter, I am. It's like Mick Jagger essentially went to a Market Basket.
You know what is interesting?
What's that?
The places I've gone, and somebody will say to me, "Why do I know your voice?"
How great is that?
And
That is
that's
pretty
really
great.
neat. It makes me very, very happy. So they don't know my face, but they know my voice.
This Saturday, I'm not going to be there till 7:30 at the Market Basket, so you can get there a little bit later. What do you do to keep your voice in good shape to be on the air? Nothing is the answer. What
Yeah.
What do you do? Nothing?
Well, I like to drink water a
Really?
lot. Yeah.
That's
You have to be
nice.
careful that you don't pop into the microphone.
A number of people at the deli counter at Market Basket were complaining about that the other day with me. I didn't want to tell her because she gets very upset with me. Spill the tea on one of your fellow GBH on-air colleagues.
I think lots of people don't know that Callie Crossley is like a pop culture whiz. Anything about pop culture, Callie Crossley knows all about.
By the way, if people are wondering why we have these mugs here, is a real bone of contention on our show is they put out these mugs that
Right.
raise money during
Yes,
the
they
pledge,
did.
and they put Margery's picture, as you can see, this is like a movie star kind of thing. Why are they called smug mugs, Margery?
Because when you look at Jim, he looks pretty smug. That's why.
And let me tell you something, I'm not happy about it. Since this series is called Get the Scoop, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? You start.
I only like ice cream from a place near where I spent the summers. It's called the Four Seas in Centerville, Massachusetts. And my favorite ice cream there is peach ice cream.
Why don't you have some of whatever that is? It's not really.
This isn't bad.
Grape nut ice cream is, you know why it's great? Because in my opinion, since we're talking about, I'm not a huge ice cream eater, but when I eat it, I really like it. Luckily, I don't eat it a lot or else it'd be like a balloon. But what is my point? Oh, my point was this. Texture is everything. It's not just taste. Texture is everything. This flavor, Haagen-Dazs, is chocolate chip. What is your flavor, please?
It's not bad. Not bad at all. It's chocolate chip cookie dough. It's not peach from the Four Seas, but it's not bad. Jim
it's
invites
good.
people on his show that work at restaurants. You know why he does that?
Yeah.
It's because he can get free food on the air
true.
and take home a big, huge doggy bag for dinner.
Well, you put it on the side, Margery.
But still in.